Well, hello. This is my notice the hair, same thing, black and white stripes. My name's Marilyn Price, and this is the Mentor Project, and I'm hoping you will string along with me. And that, of course, is a reference to the string puppets that hang around in my studio. Here they are. Could they be more colorful and more wonderful from all different parts of the world? So, I am going to introduce you to the wonderful world of strings, show you a little bit of how they work. We're going to start off by getting this guy off of my shoulder, putting him over here, and then I'll show you how he walks around. So, the complications of today are that I'm going to move the camera around a little bit, hopefully, end it up on the floor because string puppeteers, also called marionettists, uh, are usually not seen. And if you saw them at all, you'd see the bottom of them, or they would be backstage. And I kind of fabricated a little bit of a stage so you can watch them. So, complete honesty, transparencies don't normally do string puppet shows, marionette shows, because, well, let me show you what happens sometimes to me. So I'm going to flip them around a little bit, introduce you to my dudes. Well, let me introduce you to my dudes while the camera is still here. All right, let's just move that a bit here. Here we go. I think you can see them. I forget about Big Anthony and Strigonata. That's for another day, but right here, I think this is my most complicated string puppet. He has a one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. He's about 20 strings. Took me several days to make him, and he's from a show called Peter and the Wolf. And he is neither Peter nor the wolf, but he's a cat. And he is on a lug. We call it a suitcase control. Let me move it around just a little bit. There you go. And I'm going to move him for you later because I find he is so lovely to work with. This one is relatively new to me, as I said to you before. These are puppets from all different countries. Not exactly sure where she is from. She has this wonderful round face. Her strings are really very interesting. So let me talk to you about strings. Each string is called by what it moves. So her strings up here move her legs. So in order to move her legs, and she's a little bit unsteady because she's twirling around, I pull these strings up, and that would make her sit once I pull the back string up. And her back string, of course, is attached to her back. This is not big science here. So these two strings, which are really kind of interesting, which is why I think this is mostly a puppet for play and not for story, because she doesn't move, no offense, dear, really well. But if I wanted her to, she could raise her hands and then lower them. As a matter of fact, her so well articulated. If you could see that, she's waving at you. She could wave the other hand too, but that's about all she can do for now. And a nice smile on her face. Standing right before her is a word puppet I related when I worked at a camp. And the puppet would walk around with me and say hey to the kids. And she did a lot of campy things. If you look on her wrist here, one of the kids made her a bead bracelet, a friendship bracelet. Very cool. We're going to get back to him because this is a great illustration of why working with string puppets doesn't work for me, even though they are quite cool in some of the things they can do because they move around like little people, or in some cases, little animals. Way back there, let me take you back there, is one of the most famous string puppets of all. He's got a very old book written about him. I think I've talked about him a little bit. Let's see if I can get near Pinocchio here. And because well, excuse me, pardon me, puppets. Yes. Oh, wait, while I'm here, there's Joseph. Joseph is one of my favorite puppets. I made him as well. He's, um, again, with lots and lots and lots of strings. But for some reason, Joseph has always been untangable. Is that a word? It's never tangled on me, as opposed to this dude here, which I spent several hours today and finally, truth told, gave up. But if you look carefully at Joseph, we're going to go around this one here. I keep getting in the way. Oh, that was my face of the other, my Strigonana guy. So look at these strings here. This one moves his hand. Get in there a little bit. Right, cool beans. This one moves the other hand. Are you going to wave to me? Hello, how do you do? Mm-hmm. And he's got 1, 2 strings, which hold his head upright. He's got a back string, his shoulder strings. But his story is called The Dancing Man. Needless to say, he dances. And I have done that one with a cellist and a wonderful narrator. We just sneak around to my Mexican string puppet. And she is one of my most favorite because it was given to me by a delightful friend. And in the back is Pinocchio, which is a collector's puppet because I don't think they make them anymore. So you hold on to there. That would be you, Cat. I'm going to take you down in a minute and let you take a little prowl around while I talk to my friends here about string puppets in particular. So here's what happened. The word marionette means little Mary. It's a French word, and it really covers all form. In France, that means all puppets. Here, we generally only use it for string puppets. And the reason it got that name was because marionettes in France, you were told gospel stories, Jesus, Joseph, and Mary stories. So they took on the term marionette and they stayed there in France, not the puppets, the term. But puppets, I read, and have experienced, not personally, are 2,000 years old before the Common Era. So that would put them at 4,000 years old. And they were used in plays, they were used in religious ceremonies. And many of the countries that used puppets then still use them now in basically the same way. And they are intricate. One of my most favorite puppets is, let's see if I can take you over there. I'm going to switch the camera around if you're ready. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this way. Hiding back here. Where are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, sorry. This is a bat that seems to be here for no particular reason. So let's see if I can find her for you. Oh, I'm going to pull him down. It's given to me by a dear friend, Bert Mazer, who was, as her name implied, really quite amazing. So I'm going to, ow, I just hooked around my arm so I wouldn't drop him. This is a soldier, and it's a replica of puppets that were made in Sicily. So if you can see, he's kind of a very loud, and what they actually did was make a lot of noise. It was a battle scene. They were told at night. If you figure then, there was no electricity, so it was all candlelit. And this is a tiny one. So the original ones, very heavy, not ones that I could ever handle, were 5, 6 feet big, and they had battles. And that was basically all they did. They fought. And they were really quite magnificent in costumes and armory. And he is also a string puppet, even though there is nary but one string on him. And that actually just holds up his weapon. String puppets. They do phenomenal things. They told stories. And a very famous puppet in my day was a puppet named Howdy Doody, and he was a string puppet, a star of television, and was the instrument of all sorts of interesting things. He was on at 4 o'clock, so if you were lucky enough to have a TV, and we used to walk down the street to my grandma's house and watch Howdy Doody there. He was on every day. Yep. And let's see, who do I want? Oh, there's my cat. He keeps popping up over my shoulder so I can show you how he moves. So this is what we're going to do. There was a very, very famous string puppeteer named Bill Baird. Bill and Cora Baird had a puppet theater in Manhattan. And those puppets were also on the Ed Sullivan Show. And he would come to puppet conventions, and we got to meet him there, me and my puppets. So I am going to set the camera so I can show you how puppets move. Oh, yes, I did tell you one of the reasons that I don't do string puppets. So here is a puppet I made a while back. Sorry about that. Not that I made him, that I just get up and forth. So let me move this time around to the back camera. There he goes. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. See him? He is a peanut. Do not be worried about him, even if you're allergic. He is actually really quite intricate. And I used him in, his friends are back there, Babar the elephant. Babar the elephant never had peanuts in any of their stories, but I figured if he was a peanut and elephants, they always had this rumor that they ate peanuts. I'm not sure how true that is. So I want you to look carefully at him. He took me a long time to make, and he's made, if you look very carefully, see that's a jump rope I use for his arms, quite flexible. And this is the string. Now, up there, if you can see the control, that is called an airplane control because it looks like a airplane. The other one back there was just a cross control. Here is another one like a satchel control there. But this peanut dude here, he is an airplane control and way more intricate. So how do I know that? When I took him out of the bag that I had stored him in, his strings were totally, completely tangled. So I spent about an hour trying to untangle them, proving to myself once again that string puppets are magic, but they're not my magic. So look what I did. And before I meet with you again, I'm going to try and fix him. So this is what happens when I get frustrated with a string puppet. I start all over again. So I clipped him up, clipped 1, 2, 3, 4. Down here, let me show you this. This is kind of cool. He's got a separate control. This separate control works his knees. So if I wanted his knees to bend, I would pull right here. See him? You can see, kind of see the strings there. He's got arm strings. He's got 2 strings, one on either side of his head, that hold his head up nice and straight. And he's a funky kind of, would you wave to my friend here? I have to use my hand to make him wave because I removed his string. Cool puppet. I loved him. I loved making him, but he is a pain in the puppet. So now we're going to go back to this camera. I told you it would be a little bit tricky. I'll put the camera right here. Let's see if I can get somebody to walk around. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Show you how he moves. All right, so if we were doing a string puppet show, pretty interesting to see a black box, isn't it? And for those of you who are listening to this on a podcast, this would be legitimately boring. So let me see how we do here. Peek around. She said, "Oh, whoops! What you doing, buddy?" Oh, there you go. See your face. I think I'm gonna move this camera back just a little bit. Oh, excellent camera work. I should get him. Least an Emmy for this one. All right, take a bow. Nice work, nice work. Let's see if I can get him to lift his feet. This is one of the simplest puppets of all, string puppets of all time. He is almost, you want to sit? Good job. Nice. Would you like a biscuit? Okay, good. So when I say to you before that once you move these guys, it is kind of magic. It looks like they're actually moving around. So let's see if I can get him to move around for you. Excellent work. All right. Good job, buddy. Good. Can you face the camera, please? Come on. You're not in charge of you? I'm in charge of you? Oh, yes, that's what it means. A puppeteer should be well in charge of you. Oh, would you want to kiss my hand? Mm-hmm. Good job, buddy. Take a bow. Nice. Well done. So if you could stay on the board, I'm looking at the screen for a minute. I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. Let's take the camera and move it up to about here. Oh, wow. That's a nice visual. All right. See that little red box over there? Can you see it? That's my hand. Great. So I'm pointing at the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cat down and have him walk across the stage. And while I'm doing that, I will show you what this kind of intricate screw. Oh boy. There we go. All right, let's see. Excellent. Excellent. Cool beans, buddy. All right, let me see. A little bit. All right, I'm going to use my feet feet will be seen. So let me show you some of his. Okay, so hi, here, kitty. Here, kitty. You want to sit? Oh, you want to go up in the box? All right, I'm going to back you up. 1, 2, 3. Well done. All right. Oops, a little tricky, huh? Okay. Can you jump down for me? Excellent. Okay. I don't know if anybody can see you. Oh, they can. Cool, they can. Oh, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Okay. I'm going to take him on a walk. Now, if you can, I'm going to lower my hands so you can see the controls. See them? Right, so this is how I move him. I go rock, back and forth, back and forth. So his legs move. And it is all a balance. He's excellent. Inside of this puppet, as long as we're talking about him, he has one great big styrofoam ball here and some foam. And he's also built out of sheets of foam. His body is made out of 2 great big styrofoam balls. You want to take a bow? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to sit for a minute? Okay, good. Oh, he's got a great tail. You see that tail? All right. Excellent wagging of the tail. All right. So you want to take just a rest? Okay, he's going to take a rest. Nice. Can you just, oh, good. Raise your head down. Let's see. I may need to help him out here. He hasn't been down from his perch in a long time. So, oh, right, buddy. Can you turn your head just a little bit? Oh, good night. Oh, you don't want everyone to know you're a puppet. So I am going to remove the screen like that. Awesome job. Oh, sorry. Oh my. See, another good reason not to use string puppets. So I'm going to switch me around. You know what happened? You probably don't know. Oops. Oh, sorry. I was having a bad dream. I better go get him, right? I'm going to go and get him with you, but first, me. Hi. You want to come and get him with me? I'm so sorry. What happened was, well, I don't like Scrim. I love them. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not an anti-string puppet program. This is how complicated and how amazing I feel people who use string puppets are. So there he goes. That's way better. Take a rest. I'll bring you something later. Good cat. Awesome cat. Do not get your foot tangled up in a cat puppet. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. I am so impressed that you came to be with me and string along in my studio. This is where they all are. And those are the string puppets I use. I've never done before, as I say to you, just a string puppet show because it's not what I do. I like the hand puppets, but I do love the way these particular puppets move and they do tricks. And there are string puppeteers and all sorts of other puppeteers that do magical things. But as for me, I just like being here with you. So, ooh, the lights are bright today. I say to you, thank you so much. Oh, remember him? I'm going to do my front camera so I can say goodbye to you. All right. Perfect. All right, there's my strings and me. So, making a string puppet is complicated. It is definitely worth the visual. It's a lot of fun to use them, but beware if you have a whole bunch sitting in your studio and people come to visit and they like to take them down. They like to play around with them and then just drop them on the floor. You have to be patient. But being patient is a lot of what you have to do in order to make things work really well. So I thank you for coming. I hope you learned a little bit about string puppets, which have been with us for 4,000 years. So we need to respect them and cherish them and know that the reason they're there is not just for entertainment, but for education and to tell a story and to give you a message. So this is me and my friend from Sicily telling you that it can be a story about battles. It could be a story like Pinocchio about values and truth. That one. It could be a story like Peter and the Wolf with the cat, who is a major part and has such a lovely piece of music. And it can always be about you. So that, my friends, that is where we are today in our story. I thank you very much, and I hope that you will string along with me just any old day. Could you say goodbye to my friends? Senor from Sicily.